If I had low back pain, these are the 7 stretches I would do daily. And by the way, we drop new videos every single week. Never miss a new one when you hit subscribe to my channel. This is one of our most highly requested videos because so many people suffer from low back pain. So if that's you, don't worry, you're not alone. And these are the 7 stretches I would ask you to incorporate into your daily routine to help alleviate that low back pain. So we're just gonna jump through the 7 exercises, hold each one for around 40 to 60 seconds. If it feels like a sticky point for you, you can certainly hold that stretch longer. These are just meant to be tools that you can use throughout the week and add to your routine. So take whatever stretches feel best for you and use them daily. We're just gonna jump right in and start with an elevated cat-cow. So I'm gonna take my hands and place them on a bench. You could use a chair, a tabletop, a countertop, and we're gonna do cat-cow like you normally would. So I'm gonna bend my knees like I'm in an elevated table. This is just gonna give me more room to work through the cat-cow. So I'm gonna drop the belly, lift the chin, nice spine drop, and then I'm going to reverse it, big range of motion, tuck my hips high, round through the spine, tuck my chin to chest. And now you're gonna go back through it. So I'm gonna drop my chest, arch the spine, lift my chin, and then reverse it back. So big range of motion here. You're thinking a big range of motion cat-cow. I'm gonna drop, nice work. And now I wanna think about pulling my hips towards my wrists, rounding through the spine, and do it again. Drop and lift the chin. Nice work, and reverse it. Take it all the way back up. Pull the hips towards the wrist. Nice. So nice big range of motion, cat-cow. From here, I'm gonna come down onto a forearm. It doesn't matter which sides, we'll do both. I'm gonna take my inside leg and wrap my outside leg around. Inside leg is gonna stay nice and long. So you can call this a lateral line hip drop. You can call it an IT or a TFL stretch. Right here, basically, I'm going to drop my hip and sink into it, a nice sink. So I'm sinking into this hip, and then you can come up and reach, give me a side body stretch, and then drop back in and sink. I used to do this stretch often when I had sciatica pain during my pregnancies, also great for sciatica pain, and a big reach up, and drop back in. Nice. And now you can do the same thing on the other side. So I'm simply gonna place my inside leg down, wrap my outside leg, drop the hip, sink in nice and deep, feel a nice stretch right here in that inner hip inside, and then reach up and lengthen. Drop into that hip again. Great stretch for runners if you struggle with IT or TFL bands, pain or irritation or tightness. Drop back in. This is one you could hang out in for a couple minutes if it felt good for you, okay? So if that feels like a sticky point for you, absolutely hang out there longer. We're gonna move on to a seated figure 4. Now you could do this from the ground. I'm gonna show you a seated position first. When I was pregnant, I loved the seated version. I'm crossing ankle over knee. You can sit up nice and tall right here. The idea is to hit the outer glute or the piriformis, okay? And you could just slowly walk your hands over the knee. Nice little spinal rotation, or you could just hang out here. All right, so again, you could do that on the other side. If you wanted to intensify that, you could take a nice lacrosse ball under there. I'm gonna show you the seated version that I personally really love. So I'm gonna start here. I'm gonna cross ankle over knee. I'm gonna pull it up, sit up nice and tall, so I'm getting a nice outer glute stretch here. And personally, I think this feels really good for the low back. I'm gonna drop the legs over to the left, right elbow sweeps around and hits the mat. Oh, that feels so good for the low back. This is personally my favorite way to release my low back when it feels tight, especially after a nice heavy leg day. Come back to center, and you can do the same thing other way. So I'm gonna kick the legs out, cross other ankle over, pull it up, sit up nice and tall, getting that nice outer glute stretch here. You can hang out here for as long as you like. Then you can drop the legs over. Left elbow is gonna come up and over to the mat. Nice release to that low back right here. This is getting a really, really nice stretch when I drop that elbow to the mat. This is personally a stretch that I do daily and find highly effective. Okay, from here, we're gonna go into the classic move that most people know, and it is bird dog. So I'm gonna come into a tabletop position on all fours, and you're going to reach opposite arm and opposite leg away from each other, holding here, finding stability and strength through the low back. So this is a great way to lengthen and stretch and strengthen the low back. Set it down and switch. Really important here that my hips are staying square to the mat, my shoulders are staying square to the mat, my gaze is just slightly in front of me. Nice. Awesome job. We'll do one more each way. Big lift and reach. Great option here to strengthen the low back. Great option for pregnancy. Bird dog is a very common core exercise during pregnancy and postpartum. Nice. Awesome job. From here, we're gonna stay in this kneeling position. I'm gonna kick one leg out to the side. Doesn't matter which one, we'll do both. Take a big inhale, lengthen, reach. Gaze is gonna follow my fingertips. And now left arm is gonna thread under the right wrist. And you're gonna go to whatever feels comfortable for you here. You can drop the ear all the way down to the mat if that feels good. You're gonna get a nice thoracic spine rotation, so a little bit more mid-spine. And a nice inner thigh stretch here as well. And then you do the same thing the other way. I'm gonna kick the leg out, big inhale, reach and lengthen. Exhale, thread the needle. Ear and shoulder can come to the mat. Hips are staying high. Nice. You can hang out there for as long as feels good for you. And then from here, I'm gonna go into child's pose. So big toes to touch, knees spread wide, hips push back. Arms are gonna reach out away from me. Forehead is gonna hit the mat. You can hold here, big inhale through the nose. Big open mouth exhale, sink into it. Now you can stay right here and hold this position, or you can walk your hands over to the side. I actually like to place my left hand as far away from me as possible, right hand on top of it, and stretch. This is gonna open up my upper back as well as my lower back. It's gonna stretch into my lats. And you can walk the hands over to the other side. Right hand reaches as far away as possible. Left hand goes on top, really sinking into that left armpit. Big inhale through the nose. Exhale, melting down to the mat, sinking a little bit deeper. Nice. From here, you're gonna walk it in. And we're gonna go all the way up and over to our backside for your final stretch. All right, all the way down to my backside, bringing my knees into my chest, rounding through the spine. And now I'm gonna rotate into a side pretzel. Upper leg comes high, lower leg drops low into like a 90-90, and then trying to keep my shoulders on the mat. So opening up here, this is a nice low back, mid-spine rotation and release. Big inhale, pull the knees back to the chest. Same thing, other side. Gonna open into that side pretzel, other way. Trying to keep this right shoulder connected to the mat here. Nice release. I love ending a workout this way. Great way to take a couple deep breaths. Feeling a nice release in my low back. Come in, let's do one more each side. Snowball. Exhale, pretzel open. Bring it in. Snowball. Exhale, pretzel open. Nice. Bring it back to that snowball. Roll yourself up to a seated position. And those are my 7 favorite stretches to release low back pain. I hope you found those helpful and you can come back and do them anytime. I hope you enjoyed those stretches. If so, hit subscribe to my channel. I've added some more exercises you might like here. Otherwise, I'd love for you to join me for a 2-week strength challenge. You can find it right here. Have a great day.